Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hope Collective. On this channel I do pick a cards to use tarot and oracle cards to focus my spiritual gifts to allow me to bring through messages from spirit guides, from the higher selves of the collective, and from source and spirit. And today I am filming, and this introduction is for group 2 of a pick a card, bringing through messages of guidance from goddess spirit guides, from goddess energies, goddess deities. I filmed a slightly lengthier introduction where I picked these significator cards for the 3 piles or groups in this reading live. I did the shuffling and picking live in the intro for group 1, and I'm just re-recording a shorter intro for group 2 today. So if you are drawn to the group with the Emperor as your significator, then you can go to group 1, which is linked in the description box. If you are drawn to group 3 with the King of Wands in reverse as the significator, I will have group 3 posted as soon as possible, most likely within the next few days. And once I do have it posted, I will link it in the description boxes for groups 1 and 2. Also feel free to subscribe to the channel to get alerts for when I post. And for today, we're going to be picking, or rather reading, for group 2, which has the 3 of Swords as its significator. And these cards are from the Ostara Tarot, which looks like this if you are interested in the deck for yourself. And I'm trying to think if there's any other introductory stuff that I am forgetting, but I believe that is all. So if you do feel called to a different pile, you can head to that link now. If it's not available yet, then it will be available in a couple days. And let's go ahead and get started with group 2. All right. So group 2, the 3 of Swords pile, group 2. I'm going to be shuffling more from the Ostara Tarot first to bring through more messages, and then we'll see if any other decks want to get in on the action. What messages do the goddesses have for group 2 spirit guides? Tap me into what messages the goddesses have for group 2. Okay, we have 2 cards sticking out here that I'm being drawn to. So we're going to, oh, it's more than 2. Is it all 3 of these spirit? Okay, we have a bonus card. So we have the 4 of Cups in reverse. Interesting. We're going to see how this comes together in context. We have the Knight of Swords upright, and we have, wow, we have the 10 of Cups in reverse. That card is so beautiful. I love those colors and the glowing of the jellyfish there. It's really interesting. These figures are blindfolded, which is very similar to how the Lovers card in the Major Arcana is depicted in many decks. But I know what the Lovers card in this deck looks like, and we have all the cups here, so I do know that this is the 10 of Cups. That's so fascinating. And of course, they're in the ocean as well as blindfolded, and in the tentacles of this octopus. It's so different from the usual 10 of Cups depiction. It has this very eerie, almost doomed feeling to it, at the same time as this joy from the lighting from the jellyfish. The 10 of Cups is usually like the ultimate emotional fulfillment, happy family, and bliss. It's often a wedding card, but even more than that, like a family card, being very happy with your partner and your children. So to have it be so eerie and almost desolate, they look kind of like they're in a ghost town underwater, and like they're under the control of another being. So what is going on with this spirit? I'm being guided to read from the Ostara Tarot guidebook to get clarification on what direction to go in with reading these cards. Which card are we going to start with? Okay, we're going to start with the 4 of Cups reversed. Let's see what we got here. What messages do the goddesses have? The Four of Cups keywords are apathy, gratitude, openness, and new experiences. And the reversed meaning is good news and opportunity are coming your way. When the Four of Cups appears reversed, it often means that people want to hear what you are thinking and feeling. So share your opinions and feel content. And that makes sense because it's a reversal of this individual turning up their nose at what's being offered to them, such as your thoughts and opinions. To clarify that, I'll read the description for the upright meaning, which says the figure turns up their nose at the full cup being offered to them. The Four of Cups is a card that represents the bounty of life with which we are presented and that seeks to remind us not to turn our nose up at it. Feelings of apathy are strong during this period, and it is essential that you turn to find again that which makes life exciting and worthwhile. Avoid self-pity and closing yourself off from the world. That line got highlighted by my spirit guides. Avoid self-pity and closing yourself off from the world. New experiences or people may help to draw you out of your consuming thoughts. Open yourself to opportunity. That does make sense with immediately when the Four of Cups reverse came out next to the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is famously a heartbreak card, with the swords representing the mental element, the thought element. It can also represent other types of pain in addition to heartbreak, but that is what it is iconic, what it is an icon of, a symbol of. And this conjunction of the Four of Cups reversed next to the Three of Swords can represent, I feel like this could represent this going in a couple different directions. I'm looking forward to getting some clarification from the rest of the cards, but it can represent a devastating event, kind of waking someone up from a state of apathy and not appreciating what they have. It's like that you don't know what you have until it's gone state. Or the loss of something waking someone up to what they do still have and how precious and important it is, and being an opportunity to kind of revitalize their outlook on life and refresh and reframe. But it also, what's feeling more apt to the energy of the viewers that I'm tapping into is someone having been consumed in thoughts of heartbreak and a bleak outlook, and having their range of view and their range of emotion kind of narrowed down by the difficulties of recovering from that experience. Being a little bit overly consumed, like that description of the Four of Cups mentioned, and there being a turnaround now with the Four of Cups reversed and a call to wake up from that state of being asleep to or closed off from the amazing abundance that is present in one's life. The bad things do not cancel out the good things, and this Four of Cups reversed is definitely a reminder of that. Let's see, we're going to get clarification on how to apply that to your present situation and what the goddesses want to tell you about that. Next, I'm being called to read the Ten of Cups here. The keywords in this guidebook are intuition, happiness, romance, and fulfillment, and the reversed meaning is when the Ten of Cups is drawn reversed, it may be an indication that there is a flaw or a lack of balance in the lifestyle you are leading. Make your family or lover a priority and spend the time to amend any tense situations. And just to clarify the general meaning in this particular deck of the Ten of Cups, the upright description says, large tentacles close tight upon the statue of two lovers. Wow, I didn't realize it was a statue. Okay. The Ten of Cups is a card that represents fulfillment, particularly in the romantic sphere of life. Trust your intuition to guide you toward a life that will bring you happiness and satisfaction. Furthermore, take a moment to appreciate the blessings in your life and reflect on the peace you have achieved. So that is echoing what the Four of Cups reversed says, and definitely very much clarifies where this group is at. I'm getting a much clearer picture now of this being a group that has recently been through something very painful, potentially even devastating, and definitely overwhelming, and currently being at a crossroads of truly leaving that pain in the dust behind you and embarking on changing your life to suit you, to suit your needs, to suit your wants, instead of your life simply revolving around coping with the awful things you've been through. The word awful was one that I heard clairaudiently. Instead of your life simply revolving around coping with the awful things you've been through, using this crossroads, this fork in the road, to choose a path of really noticing and being mindful of the simple things, the cups that are already full in your life, and the avenues that you have for refilling your cup. And with this being emotional fulfillment with the cups, and the sparkle we have here in both of these cups cards, the sparkle of the jellyfish and the sparkle on this cup in the Four of Cups, refilling your cup, your outlook of life with magic, your outlook on life with magic. I just realized that this figure also has a blindfold, as well as the ones here. And then there's also the mask on the Knight of Swords. So there's definitely a theme here of, this is so interesting, because there was a mention of a blind spot in the in-group one, but it's a very, very different context. This is really, I really want to get clarification on why these repeated blindfold or mask images are coming up. One reason is definitely what we've already spoken to of, it's time to open your eyes to what you already have in your life and enjoy and appreciate it and build on it. Yes, that's what I'm hearing from the goddesses now, is to open your eyes to what you have that you can build on, what you can have that you can use to refill your cups with magic, with nourishment. All is not lost is the message I'm hearing. All is not lost. You've been through a lot, and you do also have things that you can build on and build with. You have tools, you have materials. It does, I just heard it, it does suck. It does suck that you're in this state of kind of being surrounded by, I'm getting an image of someone having this really solid foundation that they are more than capable of building on, but currently being surrounded by the debris of what used to be on that foundation. And it's a good thing that that demolition has been done, because what was on that foundation before, I'm being told to leave this upright for a minute and then we're going to flip it back to reversed. We have more to read from that, and we want to see the image more clearly. It's good that that demolition has been done, because what was standing on that foundation was rotting. But it does suck to be in this position of having to clear away that debris and rebuild from the ground up. However, you do have a foundation already. You're not completely back to square one where you have to dig out the ground and pour in the foundation. You have a lot to build on, and you are being called to ground into the present moment, into awareness and gratitude for that foundation you already have. And gratitude does not have to be the first step. Noticing will move into appreciation, will move into gratitude. Noticing where you are at, this taking off of the blindfold and actually feeling into your feet on the ground and noticing that they're on the ground is the first step. You don't have to try to force yourself into gratitude for there being ground under your feet. Bring yourself into the moment with noticing and unnumbing your senses. With that message about coping, there's an energy coming through now of, because you've been through so much, you've had to numb yourself. And that is the phrasing that's coming through from the goddesses, is that you had to. and you no longer have to, and it's no longer serving you. So it's not to beat yourself up for having numbed yourself. It's just that it's time to take off that blindfold now. It's time to start to bring feeling back to the limbs that have fallen asleep so that you can assess, oh, okay, there's a piece of debris that's landed on this foot. Okay, but the foot isn't broken. I can still move it. It's just time to clean it and bandage it, so that I can build on this foundation and work my way up to, once I'm healed enough, I can start to build again. I'll have my full range of motion back, and I can start to clear out this debris and move in the new machinery to get the new house going. So I hope this analogy is resonating. It's coming through very clearly and strongly now. There's something about the rabbits that's significant, as well as about the blindfolds that we haven't gotten to yet. There is, okay, the first thing about the rabbits that's coming through is this rabbit is sitting over this figure's heart, and we have this in conjunction with the Three of Swords, the Heartbreak card. There is a coziness here, and yet the expression on this figure's face is very numb. They're even so pasty blue pale that it's like they've suffered blood loss and can't really feel. So this is coming back to that metaphor of the limbs awakening as the circulation comes back into them. As the circulation and the life comes back into you, as you start to bring feeling like, kind of like a hawk circling, like gently, I'm getting this like rocking, swaying motion. It's like gently rock feeling back into your limbs, into your body, into your heart. It's not like a forceful slap in the face where you're just like, plop. Okay, all of my feeling is fully awake. It's more like thawing from the cold. It's gradual, it happens in stages. It's a little painful at first. The blood slowly starts to be able to come back into the fingertips that have been numb, or the area that was hypothermic, or maybe even close to frostbite. But as you bring the feeling back, you're going to notice some small comforts that, though they are small, are very significant, like this rabbit on the heart here, where it is warming and comforting the heart and helping bring circulation back. But this figure has not noticed it yet. And with the Four of Cups being in reverse, that's an indication that you are starting to notice it, and you're ready. You're ready to bring attention to and warmth to your heart and wake up to, okay, this pain I've been through really did suck, but also because that is in my past now, and because I went through the painful process of demolishing and leaving behind the thing that was rotting and hurting me and not working for me, now I have this safe space to create cozy comfort for myself, for my heart, and to nurture myself back to life and be nurtured. We have these hands that belong to someone else on both sides of this figure here that they're not paying attention to yet. And again, with the Four of Cups reversed, you're waking up to that. I'm hearing from the goddesses, you have support that you are underutilizing at the moment. You might be in communication with friends or family or another supportive people. Friends are being highlighted, but it could be therapists and counselors, mentors, people at a spiritual gathering or a religious place of worship that you can turn to for support. You might be in communication with these people, but it's being indicated that you could wake up to the possibility of another level of support that you're sleeping on at the moment. Possibly because of the painful thing you went through and how you had to shield yourself because either the person you were in a relationship with or the individuals you were surrounded by, potentially in a family setting, an abusive work setting, whatever it was, the person or people that were close to you were unkind, were harsh, were harming you. And so it set this expectation, it set you at your baseline level being more shielded than is now necessary. We have this tough bark on this tree in the Three of Swords with the heart carved into it. More shielded than is necessary, and also your baseline being this expectation that people will hurt me. That's the baseline expectation. And as you open your eyes, you're going to discover, wait a second, I spy people around me that actually won't hurt me the second they're given the chance to. I give them an inch, they won't take a mile. They'll hand me a cup full of magic. They'll help refill my cup. They'll help warm my heart. And there's no worry coming through from these goddesses and spirit guides about you potentially mistaking or trusting the wrong people. There's simply a soft, gentle, like rousing someone from a nap by gently rocking their shoulder. Like, it's time to wake up. You have nice people around you that you can lean on and turn. I'm getting that image of someone being gently roused from a nap and then turning over and burrowing into the person who woke them up. You have people that will be that soft with you. For some of you, this is a partner I'm getting. For some of you, this is a partner that you can lean on and trust. And I'm getting that for some of you, the Three of Swords event is a loss of a loved one who has passed away. And that, with that, yeah, this is bringing me back to the message from the Ten of Cups reversed, that this loss or heartache that you've been through has caused you to put a little bit of distance between yourself and your partner for many of you in this group, and it's just time for that phase to end. You've gotten what you needed from the hermit phase, and it's time to restore the depth, deepen the connection with your partner, restore the health of that connection, bring blood flow back to the circulation, the network between the two of you, and not neglect this partner, and lean into the possibility of trust. Because many of you, there are some of you in this reading who are recovering from an ex who was not trustworthy, but those of you who are currently in a relationship where this reading is resonating for you, you have a partner now who is trustworthy, and your past, whatever has been wounding you, is causing you to not trust that when you actually can. And you're being gently woken up to that. Yeah, that's the overwhelming energy for this reading, that it's actually just going to be a few of you that are more in a solitary phase where you're recovering from a breakup. The vast majority of you, it's a different heartache and a loss, a grief, someone who's passed away, or a similar level of loss and heartache and grief that you're recovering from, and actually being encouraged to turn to your partner, or if not a partner, your friends, for solace and to restore yourself and restore that connection to those connections. With the Ten of Cups reversed, it's like you have a found family, a chosen family, that it's time to turn towards, to reorient yourself, unreverse the card, reorient yourself to connection with them, and let yourself be fed by that connection. With the tentacles like pulling these people away, and the statue is here, again, echoing that message about bring blood flow back, bring life back. You are not a statue, and also you don't need to let whatever these tentacles represent to you pull you away from and isolate you from your chosen family. And chosen family is a really big theme for this group. For many of you, this may be blood family that comprises some of the people you trust, but I am getting that for just about all of you, there are friends or a partner, not people that you're blood related to, that you're being drawn back into connection with. It's just that for a few of you, there might also be blood family in addition to that. Yeah, don't let whatever this octopus represents to you strangle the life from this connection, and suffocate you when there is actually plenty of air in this connection. Okay, it's time for me to read for the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. Thank you, goddesses, for bringing these messages through. Keywords are incisiveness, directness, logic, and authority. It's interesting that logic is a keyword with this particular imagery because there's such a passionate, almost like bloodlusty battle cry coming from this Knight of Swords, where it almost does seem like they're about to commit a crime of passion rather than be extremely logical. However, they are obviously, with the background here, in the context of a battle, so it's not a crime of passion. In the context of a battle, it's actually perfectly logical to have that type of outburst. So there may be a message for some of you there. It may resonate for some of you to recognize, like, I've been holding myself back, thinking that I'm reacting irrationally, but actually an emotional outburst is totally called for in my situation, and it is time for me to scream into a pillow or have a really good cry. I'm being told some of you need to go cry in the shower, which makes me laugh, not because it's a funny message, but because it's a funny message to hear from Spirit, seemingly out of the blue. But some of you, that is your safe place to cry, and that is something you're being called to do, to kind of empty out and let the water of the shower spiritually cleanse your energy and cleanse your emotions and drain away the dregs of energy, that debris that we were talking about. Let that be cleansed away from you with the tears and with the shower. So in this guidebook it says, uttering a furious battle cry, the knight rushes headlong into battle. The Knight of Swords depicts a courageous, perceptive, and decisive personality. He is not one to mince words, hesitate, or let emotions get the best of him. When you find yourself in a situation that requires reason and logic, then you would do well to emulate his self-assured ability to cut directly to the truth. However, there are times when his insensitive and domineering methods are not the best approach. Take care to balance his positive traits with compassion and diplomacy. I see. Okay. So there's a dual message here. We were talking before about being at a crossroads. I don't know why I'm being called to leave this up right, even though it came out in reverse, and we've been reading it in reverse. Okay. So we were talking before about you being at a crossroads. And when I said this, I was talking about the Four of Cups, not the Knight of Swords. Apologies for letting that interrupt my sentence. But with you being at this crossroads, it's not a time to hold yourself back from forward movement. You've been in hermit mode, wallow mode for long enough. It's time to get the energies flowing like we've been talking about. Let the last dregs be exercised, removed, eliminated from your system. Hydrate. For some of you, you're gonna have like those physical symptoms of lymphatically needing to cleanse your body, right? Removing, purging from the system those dead energies, removing the dead heads from the plant. So yes, charge forward in that. Stop letting the coping mechanism patterns or the numbness, whatever it is, whatever this tentacle represents for you, whether it's patterns of daily routine that have been on autopilot or depressive patterns of thought, whatever it is, stop letting that hold you back from charging ahead just with your life. But also, because of the patterns that this group has been in, you guys are gonna experience some impulses to like cut down or cut off people that actually want to be nice to you and want to be gentle with you. And those impulses you are going to have to channel into something else, or are being advised to channel into something else, so that you do not damage these beautiful relationships that you have in your life, so that you don't hurt these beautiful people with their beautiful hearts that care about you and want to help you. This is an old defense mechanism if you're getting that impulse to just snap at someone who hasn't done anything wrong to you, perhaps because you distrust that their niceness could come without strings. Channel that anger into charging forward with other aspects of your life and bringing the fire and the heat back to those areas that have been numb. And also just into letting it doesn't have to be a productive outlet. It can just be channeling like, I am just going to go scream into a pillow. I am just going to go have a good cry. I'm going to watch a movie that makes me cry, or take a really good run or walk where I just am able to just get these emotions out, play a game of tennis and make lots of grunting noises, like whatever it is for you. Many in the northern hemisphere it is winter, and many of you may be experiencing these snowy conditions. Maybe you're gonna go snowshoeing, or go and really stomp on the snow, or go throw some snowballs, whether it's at a tree or like at some kids who are getting delight from it, and it's not seen as an aggressive act, right? Whatever it is. And also channel those energies into actually clearing out the debris emotionally from your life, physically by, cleaning a house, taking care of logistics, but also into setting boundaries with people that you really need to set boundaries with, such as cutting off, family members or work relations that are asking too much of you and not giving anything back. You're being guided to channel this with discernment. That's the other message from all these blindfolds here, is watch where you're swinging your sword. You have a right to your sword. You have a right to wield it. You have a right to cut people off. Cut off the people you actually want to cut off. When you have certain impulses with certain people, dial it back, take some deep breaths, and go pour that energy into where it's actually called for, instead of burning people who are just trying to deliver you a cup or pet your rabbit, I'm indicating the imagery in the Four of Cups there. Yeah, don't say, especially with the swords being like verbal mental energy, don't say anything you're going to regret. Or if you have already said something you regret, use the opportunity now to apologize and make amends for it. And don't beat yourself up if you do make a mistake and say something you regret, if you have just done that recently, or if you do so in the near future, because you haven't had a chance yet to fully process those emotions and let them out. Don't beat yourself up. Two wrongs don't make a right. It doesn't help anything to then turn that sword on yourself. Just find that outlet for those feelings, whether it's guilt or rage or hatred, or sobbing and you don't know why. Direct things into that outlet, and then go pour back into these cups that perhaps have been neglected, or if you have said something snappish to someone, go make those amends at that point in time. Okay, any other messages from these cards? Are we drawing? Okay, we're not drawing more from the tarot deck that I've been using at this time. Which deck are we going to next, Spirit? Okay, the tea leaf deck. This is what that deck looks like in case you aren't familiar with it and are interested in it for yourself. All right, the tea leaf oracles. Okay. Goddesses, goddess. One of the goddesses that I'm channeling just kind of went, I know when to cut a bee, so when I'm telling you to hold back and, maybe consider not cutting someone, it's real. There are some very fierce goddesses on your team, my team, our team in spirit. So they're like, when I'm telling you to actually hold your horses, you should take it seriously, because I do not hold back. And that's an energy to bring into your life, of being that self-assured that when it's time to not hold back, you don't hold back, just like the Knight of Swords description was talking about. But when it is time to actually pause and consider your words carefully, you do so with grace and compassion and wisdom for both yourself and the other person. Okay, we've got a tea leaf coming out here. Forest, muddled, unclear thinking. Of course, seeing the forest for the trees, or can't see the forest for the trees. That I was being called to put under the Knight of Swords. We do have the green in both cards, but we also have the forest in the Knight of Swords. And it would be futile for this knight to just swing his sword at a bunch of trees. Like, what would be the point of wreaking destruction with that unbridled energy? There are things that you are actually meant to destroy, like we were talking about with clearing the debris away from whatever was rotting that came down before. Interesting that there are those two sort of scenarios where there's something that you might be grieving the loss of that was a beloved person or situation or pet even, but there's also the heartbreak from the damage wrought by something that you are better off without. There's both of those energies for different people in this group. Some of you may be going through both at the same time. So just a little clarification there to mention that, yes, I do see that those could contradict each other for some of you. For some of you, both of those situations could be happening at the same time. But also, this is reiterating to the Knight of Swords, like we were saying. The swords is an element of air and thought. It's an element of clear sight, clear vision, incisive, keen, sharply cutting through illusions to see the truth. And that's where you really want to direct this fiery energy, this fast-moving energy, is clearing away anything that's clouding your vision rather than blindly hacking away. But there's something else trying to come through about that. What is it, Spirit? What is it, Goddesses? Okay, I'm being called to draw another tea leaf here. Heart, love, deep affection, and caring. This feels like a really overriding energy for the reading. Even though we have the Three of Swords as your significator card, there's this really strong energy that your heart is whole. Your heart is not deficient. That's the word I'm looking for. Your heart is not deficient. Your heart is not lacking. There's nothing wrong with it per se. It's been hurting, but there is just this overwhelming energy of it's time to allow the heart to wake back up, allow the circulation in the body, in the heart, in the emotions to wake back up. You've gotten the healing that you needed from the solitude, from the sort of stasis. That I'm getting that image of someone in a healing chamber where they're in stasis, and that comatose state is needed to allow them to have the piercing of the heart be healed without the pain being overwhelming. But that stage has passed and your heart is no longer pierced. It is whole, and it's time to wake it up with caring and to the caring, the deep affection of these people around you, and let that in. Yeah, don't let the muddled, unclear thinking obscure that or prevent that from being the energy of your life. This undercurrent is actually what keeps all of us alive. The love that binds the universe together. The love that binds families together in your case, and friends and partners. Yeah, there's a message with this coming out next to the Knight of Swords to not let yourself become at risk of becoming a hurt person who hurts people. To not inflict what was inflicted upon you, upon others, or even if it's not what was inflicted upon you, just simply to not inflict pain on those where it's not warranted, where it's not in self-defense, where they aren't deserving of or requiring cutting down because of a battle. Don't bring battle to civilians. Don't crush the flowers, let them blossom. Yeah, I'm getting that was really the message with the muddled, unclear thinking, was to not let thoughts that are really from the past obscure the present, the love that is in your life at present, in the now. To allow those past feelings to drain through you and away. Like I said, that you may need to feel them on their way out, but they are on their way out, and allow them to be. Don't resist that or keep them around thinking that you need to be on the lookout for those circumstances to happen again in order to protect yourself. There are other better ways to protect yourself. And there are people in your life right now that you don't need to protect yourself from. I'm getting one of the Astral House cards here. Happiness, yes, 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 yes. I'm not shocked that that is the house that came through, because you are being called to allow that happiness back into your life. It's like it's already there. That sun is already there. It's time to allow the clouds to melt away. With the white doves here, they could be other birds, but white doves are a symbol of peace, and it's like that peace is waiting for you, and it's simply a matter of allowing the recent past to drain away instead of clinging on to it or clinging on to reactions to it. Let yourself get the rest that you need. Let the feelings arise so that they can flow away like the tide. Like I keep saying, let the blood flow back to the limbs. We have another tea leaf coming through as well. Goldfish, increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. We have the sun colors very much matching here. Definitely spiritual growth is occurring for this pile as a result of allowing yourself to be awoken and to be loved, allowing yourself to come back into reality and feel your feelings more fully again from that numb state, and allowing yourself to deepen into connection with others. Spiritual growth is very naturally happening from that. With the material wealth, I'm getting like this sense of like sustenance, nourishment, resources being allowed in by you, allowing in these connections and allowing like grounding into the present moment. We have the fish along with the water element from the cups. The goldfish is a symbol of good luck, so there is a sense of appreciating your good luck and having these people in your life. We have one more tea leaf coming through here. Hills, obstacles to overcome. We have the sun on the horizon here. That's what I'm really being drawn to. And we have the forest here as well, so it's kind of confirmation of like the light at the end of the tunnel is very clear already. That sun has risen on your life already. Focus on that instead of not being able to see the forest for the trees. See that bigger picture. See how close you are to overcoming these obstacles. It does, like we said before, it does suck to have that debris to clear and that rebuilding to do. And you have help. You have warmth coming back to the land, you know, the sun rising again on your life and in your heart. You have hope on the horizon. You have a reason to live. You have, that is really being emphasized. You have a reason to live. You have so much to look forward to. Like, it's not, for this group with that, again, that emphasis on like the material, the earthy, and there being so much cups and swords energy, so much water and air energy, but then the forest and the hills here and the material wealth here, you actually, like, it's not intangible. It is tangible, the things that you have to live for and look forward to. It's not like, oh, I might have that happiness someday. It's actually in your life here and now, ready to be built on, like we were talking about before with how you already have the foundation. It's time to wake up to what you already have and build on it, because it is tangible. It is here and now. It's not some misty, intangible hope, ethereal hope for the future that may or may not come true. It's already here. Revel in that, relish that, and capitalize on that. And just, like I said at the beginning, you don't need to pressure yourself to just be overflowing with gratitude and bliss right away. It's starting off with just noticing the ground under your feet. And from there, as you start to build on it, appreciation will come naturally. Allow it to, is the key here. Allowing the bad feelings to flow out and allowing your focus one foot in front of the other to be on the building on what you already have, the noticing what you already have and building on it. That one foot in front of the other is very much the energy. And with that, allowing the love, the deep affection, the undercurrents of that and this burgeoning sun to rise up slowly but surely. And you'll be surprised how quickly that actually ends up shining on your life. That is what I have for you, group 2. Spirit, goddesses, do we want to bring through any more cards? No, I'm getting the message that that is complete, and that that is everything that needed to come through for this group today. So thank you so much for being here and for allowing me to bring through these messages from the goddesses today, allowing them to touch your heart and touch your life. You have spiritual support from your ancestors, your spirit guides, your past loved ones, and the goddesses that wish to aid you in walking your spiritual and emotional path going forward and rebuilding. So thank you for allowing that guidance into your life. Let me know if this reading has resonated by commenting below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if it has helped in any way. I always love to hear from you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reading.